thank you very much for coming. This is Rowan, and Rowan works in the Biosphere team at the Department of Environment, Food and Agriculture. And between Jo and Rowan, they are looking at how they can best use the biosphere to, one of the things with it is, and correct me if I go wrong, but over the time frame, they have a review after 5 years, and over that time frame they have to show positive movement in what they do with the biosphere with regards to the island. So, lost where I was going. So these are the two that are responsible for managing that. Rose has just asked if everybody's okay with having publicity shots taken. Liam's here with his camera. If you're not happy, just let us know, and we can keep you out of the picture. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Rose.
Perfect. Thank you for my introduction. And yeah, my name's Rowan, and I've only very recently joined the Biosphere team. This is my second week, so no pressure. Yeah, I'm a marine scientist, that's my background, and I've actually started this role, and half my time is spent on the plastics plan and reducing plastic across the island, and the rest of my time is spent working on the biosphere. So obviously I'm not a businesswoman, but I've really enjoyed this process of kind of researching, and hopefully I'll have something that you can kind of take from this and learn a bit more about the biosphere and how you could potentially incorporate it into your businesses and going forward. So I thought I'd start by explaining Biosphere and UNESCO. UNESCO was set up after the Second World War, and its purpose was to basically improve the lives of people and bring about peace and well-being through science, culture and education. And then in 1970 they actually made the Man and Biosphere Program, and that was off the back of the 60s, where there wasn't a huge amount of attention being paid to the environment. There was a huge amount of deforestation, people were testing nuclear bombs, and really people were more focused on going to the moon compared to what was in their own backyard. So it was off the basis of the need for more environmental protection. And the Man and Biosphere Program was primarily started about conserving the environment and our resources and studying how humans and ecosystems interacted. Then in 1995, UNESCO decided that actually we should be incorporating economy, community, culture and heritage, because actually they are just as much part of the ecosystem as the environment is. And that's where we are today with the Biosphere reserves. We actually have a network of 686 reserves in 122 countries. So as you can imagine, they are hugely diverse and actually are home to over 250 million people. So it really is about people and the environment and how they interact with each other. We became a UNESCO Biosphere in 2016. Hello. I'll give you a minute to sit down. We became a biosphere in 2016, so we're actually really young compared to a lot of other biospheres. And we became a biosphere because we're recognized as a special place. For an island, we've got excellent biodiversity, and we've also got a really rich cultural heritage. So we've basically got a story that's worth telling. Now, this doesn't mean that we have a stamp of approval from UNESCO. You guys are perfect, job done, that's the end of it. That doesn't mean that, but it does mean that we're a special place and we should put effort into making our area a place of excellence on the world stage. So the main functions of the Man and Biosphere Program are to aid conservation. And yeah, that's the environment and ecosystems and species, but it's also about conserving culture, because that's so important. It's about promoting learning through research, monitoring, education and training, and potentially acting as really important areas for issues such as climate change. And it's, at the end of the day, it's about encouraging sustainable development, and I'll talk a bit more about this as we go on. So what does our biosphere status mean for us? Well, I think it really means that we're part of a network that gives us a platform to do more. We can connect, collaborate, innovate, and showcase our island. and we can engage with people in our community to try and produce a green economy and economic growth that's sensitive to social and environmental issues. It's a fantastic chance to share our experience and expertise and get stuff back from this huge network, which is pretty unique when you're looking at everything globally. And it's a chance for us to reach a wider audience and promote our products and services and who we are. And I think it really gives us the potential to transform, design our future, and build the economy in a sustainable way. And by doing so, we're going to attract investment, new business, and tourism. So I hope that kind of gave you a little bit of a background of what Biosphere is all about. And now I'm going to try and talk to you a bit about the benefits of incorporating it in your business. So why should we incorporate Biosphere into our business? I think it's really important to realize that we're living in a time of huge environmental, economic, and social challenges. And if we are going to tackle these, as society, we need multi-stakeholder engagement. This summer, I went on a trip with 14 women across the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is a huge expanse of plastic pollution. And I was one of 2 scientists on board, but we had filmmakers, product designers, circular economy experts, teachers, and when we sat around the table and talked about the solutions for plastic pollution, we had ideas like, obviously beach cleans, but we need to redesign products, we need better recycling, we need legislation, we need businesses to act and care. So there's upstream solutions to problems, and then there's downstream. And cleaning a beach is great, but it's a downstream solution. And you guys, with the potential to go into business, have the potential to create real change in upstream solutions. So I think that's something to be really excited about, because if we don't start doing this, it's going to affect the quality of our lives and our economic security. And I think adopting the principles of Biosphere is a really good way of doing that and that mechanism. Also, if we don't start doing something about these issues, our ecosystem services are going to be affected. Now, these are services that nature provide us that we largely take for granted now. But if these problems persist, it's going to be affecting our lives and basically the bottom line of all our businesses. So we need to start doing things that take care of our environment, social and economic issues. Now, this isn't a talk that just tells you all you need to start caring about the environment and all these issues, because there's actual tangible benefits that you'll find in your business if you incorporate these principles into it. They really align well with corporate social responsibility, which is, very now in business. And by taking these ideas into your business, you have ability to stand out from your competitors. You have a chance to enhance your reputation, improve your brand image with customers, investors, and stakeholders here and off the island. You also have a chance to save energy in your operating costs by actually streamlining your resources and reinvesting it into other areas within your business. And you're going to keep customers happy and your workforce, because you're actually thinking about how you can keep them happy, how you're improving the environment. And really, we have a potential to be ambassadors of global change, which is really exciting, and join a sustainable movement which is so now and so current and so needed. And if we incorporate these values into our businesses, we're all going to be setting ourselves up to comply with current and future regulations in terms of environmental protection, which is key, and we need that foresight. So I thought I'd give a few quick examples of companies I think are adopting these principles into their businesses and are widely successful. Patagonia was founded in 1970 by a guy who spent 200 nights out of the year camping outdoors because he loved what he was doing, and he wanted to create a product that people could use and would use their whole life without having a detrimental effect on the environment. He's carried that through to today, and they want to, you can send your jackets to them and they will repair 20-year-old jackets for you. They use recycled material, and they give 10% of their profits to environmental causes. And they had sales of £750 million in 2015, which speaks for itself. Then tech giants, which is, a world away from what I do, but they are also making strives to be more sustainable. They recently did an audit of their energy consumption and found that they could decrease the amount of energy they use by 50%, and those savings could be directly invested into their company. They also use their technology for good. For example, they freely give the technology called the Global Fishing Watch to governments, which allows them to monitor fishing activity in areas that are really hard to police and patrol. And they put pollution sensors on their cars and give that information to governments to make, they're striving to make the world a better place. This is at the other end of the scale, and I just wanted to show this example of this company called Burro, and they're a really small company in Chile, but they've taken the issue of plastic pollution, which is obviously quite close to my heart, and made a profitable business out of it. Now they collect old fishing nets of fishermen that would otherwise be discarded a lot of the time into the ocean to float around and catch fish. It's a huge environmental problem. They collect these nets and create really cool products out of them, like the sunglasses, skateboards, and ocean Jenga. And they align with campaigns that do things to protect the environment and what they care about. And they've made a huge success of it. So it just shows how incorporating those ideals into your business is not only better for the environment and the world in which we live, but it's better for your brand and your company. So how can we do that? Whether we're coming out of college and we're going to start our own business and you have the freedom to do that how you want, or you're joining a business and you want to incorporate those values. By having an idea of these principles, you're already going in ahead of the rest, because this is what people want to be seeing. We need to ask ourselves, are we following the Sustainable Development Goals? Are we trying to develop our economy in a sustainable way? What impact is my business having on the environment, and am I making effort to minimize it where possible? And are we promoting our cultural heritage, not only for the benefits it gives us, but for the benefit it gives our society? Learning. Are we engaging with our community? Are we giving everything we can to our employees to make sure that they feel like they're nurturing their own journey as well as our own businesses? And are we raising awareness and putting funding towards research and education where possible? I think the Sustainable Development Goals are a really fantastic roadmap that you can use. So much resources have been put towards them, and they really show you how you can be more sustainable in your day-to-day life and within your business. They cover things in industry, infrastructure, and innovation by thinking about new ways to use materials, how to avoid pollution, how we should be supporting businesses that give equal opportunities to people, and how we should be looking at how we are using our energy and where we're getting that from. When you incorporate those values, you have the ability to become a partner of Biosphere and partner of UNESCO Biosphere Isle of Man. And when you do so, you make a pledge that you will make every effort to protect our natural resources, to develop our economy in a sustainable way, to make a minimal environmental impact, support and engage with local communities, and promote the Isle of Man and its biosphere status. I think an excellent example of that on the Isle of Man is Roots Beverage Company. I don't know if you guys have spoken to Jamie before, he's a good friend of mine, but his business just is totally biosphere. That's everything you could want from a biosphere business. They employ locally and source local ingredients. They run education campaigns about bees and wildlife and protect it. They give 10% of their profits to helping bee and wildlife projects. And they're so keen in engaging with that other biosphere network. You also get the benefits of branding when you're with Biosphere and you're using those principles, like Fenodori Gin, which I think are already a premium product. But if you imagine, I don't know if any of you guys drink gin, but there's so many gins on the market. And actually by putting that Biosphere status on your brand, you're elevating it to that next level as well. To summarize, Man and Biosphere really is about man and nature and incorporating ourselves into the ecosystem. We have been recognized as a special place. We're not perfect, but we have a platform to potentially create a future that is sustainable and sensitive to environmental and social issues. If you incorporate biosphere into your business, it not only provides benefits for your business, for the world, but also your customers and your investors. And above all, it's our global responsibility to tackle critical global issues. And business is going to be a huge part of that. And it should be an exciting part of it. It's about innovating. I think the key to doing this is to realize that we are all part of this ecosystem. And the Biosphere principles are a key mechanism for this. You guys have the real possibility of creating change in your future, whatever you do. And I hope that together, from science and business, we have the potential to create an inspiring, innovative, sustainable future. So thanks for listening.